how much money the federal government has borrowed and who's going to have to pay it back. You know what? They know they're going to have to pay it back. They've gotten that message. But when I ask them, how much is $1 trillion, they don't know. So I said, let me give you a starting point. If you had a stack of $1,000 bills just 4 inches high, you'd have $1 million. Well, they're pretty impressed with that. None of them have ever seen a $1,000 bill, and just stacked just 4 inches high, freshly printed, tightly packed $1,000 bills, and you have $1 million. So I said, how high would that stack of $1,000 bills have to be to equal $1 trillion, which is what we spent on the economic stimulus package that has cost jobs in America, not created jobs? $1 trillion. About what the president says this health care bill will cost. $1.2 trillion. The budget deficit for the year we're operating in right now, never before, until last year, have we had a budget deficit of anything near that magnitude. So what's $1 trillion? I said. I said, how high would that stack have to be of $1,000 bills? One young lady raised her hand. She said about 12 inches. Another said, no, it'd be a lot more than that. It'd be about 20 feet. I said, well, for those of you who are going to pass your SOLs, you know that a billion is 1,000 times a million. And $1 trillion is 1,000 times a million, or 1,000 times 1,000 times. Or a million. If you do 1,000 times 1,000, that's $1 million times $1 million. So that stack of $1,000 bills that's 4 inches high for $1 million would have to be 4 million inches high for $1 trillion. Over the next 8 years, this administration is going to add $8 to $10 trillion to our national debt on the backs of those same high school students and children that are not yet even born today. So that's what's at stake, and that's the most serious problem we have, is out-of-control government spending. It's why on the first day of this Congress, I introduced House Joint Resolution number 1. The Democrats weren't paying attention, so the clerk gave me Bill number 1. I was very happy to have that being in my party. House Joint Resolution number 1, a balanced budget amendment to the United States Constitution. We came within one vote of passing a balanced budget amendment in the Congress during the contract with America. One vote short in the Senate. Passed in the House, one vote short in the Senate. If that one vote had been there and the states had ratified it like I think they would, we'd be having a very different discussion today about this issue of cutting government spending, because it would force the members of Congress and the President to set their priorities and have that great debate like we have in Virginia, where they are required to balance their budget each and every year. So we're going to fight for that. We're going to fight for that in this Congress and in the next Congress, and when we elect the next President of the United States, and a Congress that gets it and wants to have that kind of fiscal responsibility, we're going to enshrine that in the United States Constitution. How are we going to get there? We're going to get there with your help. We need you from now until the next election to contact everybody you know here in Virginia and elsewhere across this country and tell them how important this election is. We have great hope, great expectations, but we have, most of all, great determination. Will you join me? Will you